Leicestershire's Wayne White claimed the best figures of his career, taking 5 for 54 against his former county Derbyshire, who just avoided the follow-on but are still some way behind going into the final day of their LV County Championship match in Derby. Leicestershire was still batting in their first innings at the start of the third day, but not for long. Resuming on 318 for 7, they lost their last 3 wickets for only 6 runs. Robbie Joseph lost his middle stump to Mark Footed in the second over. Claude Henderson went in the same way to Tony Palladino, and Nadim Malik had his off stump uprooted by Footed as Leicestershire were quickly dismissed for 324. The first 40 minutes of this day actually saw 5 wickets tumble. Derbyshire were 2 down with only 6 runs on the board as Paul Borrington nicked a beauty from Joseph behind in the first over of their reply. And Wes Durston followed in the third as he offered Matt Boyce a simple chance at short leg, again off Joseph, who quickly took his season's tally to 14 wickets, having taken 12 on his Leicestershire debut. Things did then ease up for the batsmen a little, with Wayne Madsen trying to lead from the front. He and Dan Redfern stopped the bowlers in their tracks for a while as they fashioned a third wicket partnership of 55. Redfern has started this season pretty well, and he looked full of confidence as he played some classic shots in his innings of 30. A 6th wicket fell before lunch though. Madsen on 24, made in an hour and a quarter, gave White the first of his wickets with an edge to Jacques du Toit. Shortly after lunch, and there were yet more wickets. Redfern edged Malik to Ramnaresh Sarwan at 70 for 4. And that became 84 for 5 as Ross Whiteley had no answer to a brute of a ball from Malik. Sarwan again with the catch. Martin Guptill had dropped down the order to number 5 after being off the field with an ankle injury, but after battling for some while for his 16, he perished with a total on 97. Another edge, another slip catch. The follow-on target of 175 suddenly seemed a little way off, but Derbyshire have already recovered from such situations this summer, thanks to their very useful lower middle order. David Wainwright and John Clare added 18 here. But when Clare was bowled by White for his 3rd wicket, the home side were on 115 for 7 and in some trouble. 40 more runs were still needed to avoid the follow-on when Wainwright, on 17, nicked Henderson behind, that being the first ball that Henderson has bowled this summer. And they were still 24 runs short as Tom Poynton also found White too hot to handle as he nicked off for 15. So it was now up to Derbyshire's last pair to save their side's bacon. Well, actually, that was left to Palladino, who went on the attack, here hitting White for a maximum. Footed didn't score a run, but did a job at the other end. 5 away from their initial follow-on target, he survived a strong appeal for LBW. Palladino then drove White through the covers for 4, before he found the runs which ensured that Leicestershire would have to bat for a second time next in this match. Palladino's 38 coming in at number 10 was the best score of the innings and was an extremely important one to his side. He was the last man out at 180, skying a drive to Boyce to give White his first 5-wicket haul as a Leicestershire player. He finished with 5 for 54, the best analysis of his career. So Leicestershire would have been disappointed to be batting again, but they still had a lead of 144, and 12 more were added to that before Greg Smith was bang in front to foot it for 7. The remainder of the day belonged to the visitors, who calmly batted themselves into a very strong position going into the final day. There was no real hurry from either Boyce nor du Toit. They didn't want to let this good position slip after working so hard over 3 days between the showers to get there. There was the occasional flourish from both as they steadily built on their already substantial lead, which had gone beyond 200 by the close. They were not about to let the current second division leaders back in. Du Toit finished the day by planting Wainwright over the ropes, and you can expect to see more shots like that on the final morning. Leicestershire go into that on 76 for 1 with Boyce on 43 and du Toit on 25, and that puts them 220 runs ahead. Some quick runs in the first hour on day 4 will set this game up nicely for the remainder.